In the previous sections, we saw many things. What are rational numbers? What are irrational numbers? How to find the HCF? How to find the LCM? How we used Euclidean mathematics fundamental rules? How we used fundamental theorem of arithmetic? All these things we have seen step by step. So today would be the last class for us, in which we would be doing the last part of the exercise, which again you have done in class 9th. And it is on, let me see again, somebody is there in the waiting room. Amogha is there. Ananya is there. Okay. Fine with that. Okay. Fine. Now, when somebody asks us, what are rational numbers? We can just say that rational numbers are those set of numbers which can be written in the form of P by Q, where P and Q both are integers, but Q cannot be equal to 0. Or another very easily we can say that they are actually whole numbers, whole square numbers, like 4, 9, whose square root can be found very easily. Whereas when we talk about irrational numbers, just the opposite, the other way around, we say that they cannot be written in the form of P by Q, where P and Q are integers. Or another very easy thing is, we can say that they are actually square roots of numbers which are not whole squares, like root 2, root 3, root 5, root 7, and so on, root 11, root 15, so on. Now the thing is, we have seen how to prove that root 2 is irrational, how root 3 is irrational. We have already seen how to prove them. So we will not speak more about it. Now, two more important things that we know about rational and irrational numbers are, fine, just a minute. This part we have done, right? We have done with the proving part. So we will be starting with this part, revisiting numbers. Okay, Ananya is there. Okay, fine with that. So now we will be talking about terminating decimals and non-terminating. So when we have rational numbers, we say that the division, that is P upon Q, is in such a form that Q is never equal to 0. And when you do the division of this P upon Q, you will either get a terminating decimal or you will get a non-terminating but repeating decimal expansion. Please write this down. These two things are a bit confusing. Please write this down. Just write it in the form of notes or points. That is, rational numbers have either a terminating decimal expansion. Expansion means nothing but you are dividing it, or a non-terminating repeating decimal expansion. I'll show it to you when we are doing examples. Whereas for irrational numbers, we say that P upon Q is non-terminating and non-repeating. Please write this down. Non-terminating and non-repeating. We have done this all in 9th, but please mention it boldly because these things are written somewhere in the textbook and it will be a problem if you miss them out. So are you all done? Written these 2 points very clearly? Because based on these concepts, we'll progress to the next part of the exercise and the examples. Has everybody done?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine, moving ahead. Fine, this is what I said. Now let's take up some examples. Suppose we have 0.375. Now 0.375 can be written as 375 upon 1000. So 375 divided by 10 to the power of 3. Now 0.375 is what? It is a terminating decimal. Am I right? Same way, just check, look into all these points. Same way, 0.104 can be written as 104 upon 10 to the power of 3. Again, check. 0.104 is the terminating decimal. Can you see the denominators? It is 10 to the power of 3. This is 10 to the power of, again, 3. Similarly, 0.0875 can be written as 875 upon 10 to the power of 4. Again, this is a terminating. Terminating one can be written in the form of the denominator, 10 to the power of 4. Again, the last example, that is 23, that's 23.3408 can be written as 233,408 upon 10 to the power of 4 again. So as you see, all these terminating decimals can be written in the form of power of 10. The denominators can be written in the form of power of 10. Are we all clear about this? Fine. So this
Yes, ma'am.
this is what is there. As one would expect, they can all be expressed as rational numbers whose denominators are nothing but in the powers of 10. Now, whenever something is in the power of 10, last session only we did some questions on that from the exercise also. Now, what are the prime factors of 10? Has to be 2 and 5. If the number is divisible by 10, that means it has to be divisible by 2 and 5. So same way, when you simplify these 375 upon 10 to the power of 3, when you simplify them, you get it in the form of 3 divided by 2 cube. Same way, 0.104 can be simplified as 13 upon 5 cube. Third point, this can be done as 7 upon 2 to the power of 4 into 5. And similarly, the last one can be written in the form of 5 to the power of 4. So now what did we see? In the first part, we saw all of these 4 decimal expansions had the denominator in the, which was 10 to the power of something. Now when we simplify them, we get the same thing back, whereas the denominators are in the power of 2 or 5. It's the same thing. Fine with that? From here, a theorem came up which said that, now the same thing, that's what I said. Do you see any pattern? We saw that the denominator, that the prime factorization of the denominator, that is q, has only the power of 2 or the power of 4 or both. Fine. That means we should expect the denominator to look like this, since power of 10 can only have powers of 2 and 5 as factors. From here, we come up to the rule which says that the prime factorization of q, that is the denominator, has to be in the form of 2 to the power of n into 5 to the power of m, where m and n are some non-negative integers. So here comes your theorem, theorem 1.5, which says, let x be a rational number whose decimal expansion terminates. We know that when it's a rational number, its decimal expansion will have to terminate. Then x can be expressed in the form of p by q, where p and q are co-primes. Co-primes, why co-primes? Because they are there till the simplest of the level. They cannot be simplified anymore. And the prime factorization of q is of the form 2 to the power of n multiplied by 5 to the power of m, where m and n are non-negative integers. This is what your theorem 1.5 says. Please write this theorem in short. All of you write it down. Please write it down. I'm speaking out, you write it down. For a rational number, are you all writing? For a rational number, x to be expressed in the form p upon q, comma, q for queen, q has to be of the form 2 to the power of n multiplied by 5 to the power of m, has to be of the form 2 to the power of n multiplied by 5 to the power of m, where m and n are non-negative integers. So this clarifies the whole thing. Now, this is what I told you right now is not a, I just told you so that you can understand it. I've simplified the theorem. That's it. So as you see, m and n are non-negative integers, right, children? Non-negative integers means they can take the power value of 0 also. Either n is 0. So if n is 0, 2 to the power of 0 is how much?
1.
1. So we
1.
get, yes, we get only 5 in that case. If m is equal to 0, then again 5 to the power of 0 is 1. So we get 2 in that case, 2 to the power of something. So that means either 2 factor will be there, or 5 factor will be there, or both will be there. This is what is the concept. So just looking at the sum, if you find the denominator after simplification is of this type, then we know that they are nothing but rational numbers. So theorem number 1.6 is just the vice versa of this one only. It says that if the denominator is of the form of 2 to the power of n multiplied by 5 to the power of m, then it has to be a decimal expansion which terminates. That's it. 1.6 and 1.5 and 6 are thus the other faces of the same coin. Are you clear with this concept, all of you?
Yes,
Ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine, all of you. I've written down what I said in a small statement so that when
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
when you do the sums, it's very clear for you to understand. Okay, now I'll just click on this. Yeah, sure, let's start. Now, if you see 1 upon 7, okay, now 1 upon 7, as it is now, you have understood by the previous theorems, you have understood, since 7 doesn't have the factors as 2 or 5, so it will, what will happen? Will it be terminating? Will it be non-terminating? Or what will happen? Yes, it is
Non-terminating.
Yes, it will have a non-terminating decimal expansion. You see, look at this. Here the division has been shown to you. So it is 0.1428571 and still continues because there is still the remainder there, which is lesser than the quotient. So up till the remainder is more than the quotient, the divisor, you have to continue with the division. In this case, we can say that this has got a non-terminating decimal. See, look at here.
But recursive.
Non-terminating. Okay, okay with that. Now, here in this question, it has just been given till here. But actually, this is repetition of 0.14.
142857.
This is repeating. If you check your calculators, you
Yes,
will
ma'am.
see. Who's Radhika in this class? Is there somebody named Radhika
Ma'am,
Gupta?
Manasvi small.
Manasvi, ma'am.
Sure, no? I'm letting
Yes,
her in.
ma'am.
Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine, perfect. Thank you. So if you see, if you check out, you will see the whole of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All of these 7 numbers again repeat themselves. So that means this division is actually non-terminating but repeating or recurring decimal. So again, we can say that 1 upon 7 is nothing but a rational number. So you have to check. Such big calculations will never be expected from you all, wherein all the 7 to 8 digits will repeat. But know about it. That's why I meant to say, just know about it. Okay, so we land up saying that 1 upon 7 has got non-terminating but repeating or recurring decimal expansion. Now we move ahead. So we can conclude that decimal expansion of every rational number is either terminating or non-terminating, repeating. That's what we said. Now let's start working on the exercise. Are we ready? All of you, are we ready with
Yes, ma'am.
stationery?
ma'am.
Remember, these we are not going to repeat, children, and you might have this in the assessment also. So be very careful. Ask me if you have anything in mind at the moment. We might take another class on just asking you doubts, but be ready. Okay, now what I'll do is, at the moment, I'm going to hide my screen. Fine, let me see how much you've understood. Fine, now without actually performing the long division, okay? State whether the following rational numbers will have terminating decimal expansion or a non-terminating repeating decimal expansion. Come on. Hey, wait. Yes. Chal, do it. Show it to me. Give me the answer. Without performing long division. Do not use your calculators, please.
It is
Hey,
terminating.
wait. Who's that Jay?
No.
Who's it?
Pranav.
Pranav. Perfectly fine. Pranav, I'll ask you why. Let the others also do it for a minute. I'll ask you why, but just hold on. Others?
Ma'am, it's non-terminating.
You find it as non-terminating. How did you do so?
Ma'am, it's non-terminating.
Did you divide it thoroughly?
No. I only checked the denominator part.
Here you have to check the denominator part only.
Yes, ma'am. So there was only like 5. There was no 2n. As they have told that it should be 2m and 2n.
No. I repeatedly told you.
2 to
It
the
need
power
not
m.
be, it
Can
need
be 2 to
not
the
be
power
both of
0.
it. Yes, I
Oh.
explained that to you, Vaibhavi. Is that Vaibhavi?
No, Ananya.
Ananya, I told that to you. It should
Okay.
be, the denominator should be in the form of 2 to the power of m or 5 to the power of n or both. Product.
Oh,
So
Okay,
here
ma'am.
very clearly we can see that 3125 can be written as 5 cubed. Done. So it's 5 cubed means again in the form of 5, power of 5. So it is terminating. Are we done? Now please mute yourself. As soon as you're done, mute yourself. Shall I go to the next one? Now herein you will get marks. How do you get marks in these type of sums? First of all, these type of sums can come into your MCQs. They can come as 2 markers even, because 3125 you have to show that it is 5 cube. Now if you're doing it mentally, I would say please show the rough work somewhere. At least show that 5 into 5 into 5 gives you that. That's very easy. Do it mentally, not an issue, but show the rough working either in the rough column or in the fair column. In maths everything is fair. Let it be very transparent. Okay, need not hide things here and there. So again, I'm covering this fast. Yes, do this. As you can see, we have done the first one and the fourth one. So the remaining in between goes home. 15 upon 1600.
Ma'am, it's terminating.
Terminating. Hold a minute. Let the others also.
Terminating.
Terminating.
Ma'am,
Perfectly
it is
fine. Terminating. Perfect. Now, what did you do? How did you write 1600 as?
Small t square.
Ma'am, 2 to the power 6 times pi square.
Perfect. So this can be written as 2 to the power of 6 and 5 square. So thus both are in the form of prime factors 2 and 5. So it is perfectly terminating. Moving ahead. Again, hiding the screen. By the time I hide, you can see, I think so. Wait. Don't see, please. Wait a minute. Oh. Chal, do it. What? Is it terminating or non-terminating?
Non-terminating.
I'm non-terminating.
Ananya, why is it non-terminating?
Ma'am, because there is including with 2m and 5n, there's also 7.
Perfect.
There's
Nandita, perfect. Nandita, is she saying the right thing? Nandita?
Yes, ma'am.
She's fine. She's perfect. That's perfect. Because along with 2 and 5 in the denominator, you have 7 also. So it is non-terminating but repeating. Fine. Because these are all rational numbers. So if it is non-terminating, if it is terminating, perfect. But if it is non-terminating, it has to be repeating. because these are all rational numbers that we are talking about. 129 is also an integer. 2 square, 5 to the power of 7, 7 to the power of 5. These are all integers. So these are all nothing but written in the form of P upon Q. Moving ahead again. Chalo, do it. 35 divided by 50. I hope you're writing the sum numbers also, so that when you do it at home, the homework part, you're clear about what has to be done and what not.
Ma'am, terminating.
Ma'am, it's terminating.
No, terminating.
Okay. Everybody? Edwin,
Yes, ma'am.
is it terminating?
Yeah.
How? How?
Or
Hmm? Edwin, have you understood the concept?
yes, ma'am. It's
So tell me why. Why is it terminating? What happened?
ma'am because that's 2n and 5m.
Sorry?
Because that's 2n and 5m.
How? How? Tell me.
So 50 will be equal to 5 square. 5 square into 2 to the power 1.
5 square means how much?
25.
Into 2 means 50. Perfect. Perfect. Good. Moving on to the next one. Fine. The following real number have decimal expansions. In each case, decide whether they are rational or not. Now tell me, is it rational or not first?
Yes. It's not rational.
It is not rational.
Not rational.
Somebody said yes.
Not, ma'am.
Okay. If okay, who
Because
said
it's neither terminating, non-recurring, or
It's irrational.
perfect? It is neither terminating, perfectly fine. And I don't see anything in, I think, how many terms are there? 15? 15 or 16, if I just look into it. None of the terms I see are repeating. If you see, the number of zeros are continuously increasing. Can you see the trend? You have to understand the pattern. So surely it is non-terminating, also non-repeating. Okay with that? So it is nothing but irrational number. Fine with that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You have to write these terms. They are very essential. They are neither terminating nor recurring. This is very important, these two terms. Okay. Shall I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Chalo.
It's rational.
Ma'am, it is a rational number.
Rational.
It's rational.
Rational.
It is clear-cut a case of rational number. Why?
Non-terminating and recurring.
Sudesh has moved out or what? Got a call dropped. Okay, fine. Okay, Sudesh, are you there? Sudesh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Since the decimal expansion is non-repeating, recurring, the given number is a rational number of the form P upon Q. And Q is not of the form this, that is okay. We'll have other form. That is perfectly fine. But since it is repeating, non-terminating and repeating, so I think that was it for us for this chapter. So just let us summarize a bit on what we have done so far. In this chapter, we have studied the following things. Euclid's division lemma, which says that, please mute yourself, which says that given positive integers a and b, there exists whole number q and are satisfying. A is equal to bq plus r. This is nothing but the way you do division since grade 4. That is, dividend is equal to divisor into the quotient plus the remainder, and always remainder will be greater than equal to 0. sorry, very sorry, greater than equal to 0 and less than b. If remainder becomes equal to 0, then what happens? Why have we written this greater than equal to and this side is only less than? Can somebody explain it to me? Are you clear with the question?
Ma'am, because if the remainder is zero, then the division ends. It's
Mhm.
complete.
Perfect.
And we can, and if the remainder is not zero, then it has to be less than the divisor, or else the division will be incomplete, as we can divide it further.
Perfect. If it is equal to b, if r becomes equal to b, that means what? We can write the quotient as 1 and then complete it. Am I right? So that's why we don't mention here the equal to sign is not.
Yes, ma'am.
Children, these are very, very essential things which might come in true and false. See, these chapters are very easy, small also to say. But then there are very small nitty-gritties where you have to concentrate on, understand it. Okay. Next thing which we did was the same thing. This is based on, according to this, the HCF of any two positive integers a and b with a greater than b. How did we find out? We applied the division lemma at every stage until we came and got the remainder as 0. Remember all these things? So remember, if it is written, use Euclid's division lemma and find the HCF or the LCM. Please do so. Don't use the prime factorization or long division or anything on that. Fine. So you have to use the method given to you. Next was the fundamental theorem of arithmetic, which says that every composite number can be expressed as or factorized as a product of primes. And this prime factorization is unique, means it will never happen that Sudesh will have a different one, whereas Rishabh will have a different one and Siddharth will have a different one. It is never possible. So it will be unique, but the thing is you can change the orders of the prime factors. But then what did I mention to you, children, if you remember? Can somebody tell me? Rishabh, can you tell me? Rishabh, can you tell me what did I tell you? How to put the prime factors as? In what order?
Descending.
I said descending.
Ascending.
Ascending or descending?
Ascending, ma'am.
Ascending, yes. That is what we always take. Next was if this we utilized. If P is a prime and P divides A square, then P also will divide Q where will divide A where A is a positive integer. Now this we utilized when we were proving root 2, root 3 and all these things as rational, irrational and also on. Fine. So understand that one of it will be there. Either it will be a 2 marker or a 3 marker. It will be there. Fine. To prove that root 3 and root 2 are irrationals. So please practice that better. Do it so many times that you know each and every step. Don't jump onto steps. Don't miss out any important words like co-primes and all these things. So each and every, it is there in your grade 9th textbook also, 10th also. So do it properly. Then this is what we did today. Let x be a rational number whose decimal expansion terminates. Then we can express x in the form of, because the decimal expansion terminates, okay? So then we can express x in the form of p upon q, where p and q are co-primes, and prime factorization of q is always of the form 2 to the power of m multiplied by 2 to the power of 5 to the power of m, where m and n are non-negative integers. M and n can always be equal to 0 because they have written are non-negative integers. So 0 is neutral. 0 can also be there. So point number 7 says, if this is so, then the decimal expansion terminates. Again, as I said, your theorem number 1.5 and theorem number 1.6. Going on to the final one, the last one, which says that let x be equal to Manasvi as again. Manasvi is with us, right? In this class? Children, Manasvi? Hello, children.
Yes, ma'am.
Manasvi is in this class, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Let x be equal to p upon q be a rational number such that the prime factorization of q is not of the form 2 to the power of m into 5 to the power of m. Then what happens? Then x has a decimal expansion which is non-terminating repeating. Now the catch is, check out the denominator. If denominator is of the form 2 to the power of m, 5 to the power of m, perfectly fine. It is, then it is of the form of rational number. But if it is not so, not in that form, that then understand that it is of the form of non-terminating, but has to be recurring and repeating because p and q both are integers.